the dream catcher. Lena had always struggled with sleep. Night after night, she'd toss and turn, haunted by restless dreams that left her feeling more tired in the morning than when she'd gone to bed. So when she stumbled upon a craft fair one sunny afternoon and saw a beautiful, hand-woven dream catcher hanging from one of the stalls, she decided to give it a try. "This will catch all your bad dreams, only sweet dreams from now on," the vendor promised, smiling as she wrapped it up for Lena. Lena couldn't help but feel hopeful. That night, she hung the dream catcher above her bed, its feathers gently swaying in the breeze from her open window. She smiled as she climbed into bed, but that night the dreams became worse than before. Lena found herself running through an endless dark forest. Her heart raced as the sound of footsteps chased her. As she glanced behind her, a dark figure, faceless and towering, was gaining on her. She ran faster, desperate to escape, but no matter how hard she tried, it was always just out of reach. She woke with a gasp, drenched in sweat, her heart hammering in her chest. The dream had been so vivid, so real. Shivering, she glanced up at the dream catcher, its delicate web of threads untouched, hanging silently above her. Each night, the dreams grew more intense. The dark figure keeps chasing her. It never spoke, never showed its face, but its presence filled her with overwhelming fear. Every night, Lena would wake up at the exact same moment, just before the figure caught her. She started to fear falling asleep. The once comforting dream catcher now seemed like a cruel mockery, hanging above her bed as if it were mocking her suffering. One night, exhausted and desperate for peace, Lena stayed awake as long as she could. But eventually, sleep overtook her, and she slipped into the nightmare once again. This time, the figure was closer than ever before. She could feel its breath on the back of her neck as she ran, hear the sound of its steps right behind her. Just as she was about to wake up, as she always did, something changed. The figure reached out and grabbed her arm. Lena jolted awake, heart racing, but something was wrong. Her room felt different. The air was heavy, and her skin tingled with fear. Slowly, she glanced down toward the foot of her bed. The dark figure was there, standing motionless, its towering form looming over her. It was more terrifying than in her dreams. Lena's breath caught in her throat, and her body refused to move. She was paralyzed with fear, unable to scream, unable to look away. The figure leaned closer, its presence suffocating her. Its shadowed face hovered inches from hers, and though it had no mouth, Lena heard its voice clearly, a deep, rasping whisper that chilled her to the bone. "Do you think you're safe here, Lena?" Her heart pounded, her eyes wide with terror as the figure continued, its voice seeping into her mind. "I know all of your fears, your secrets, your failures." Lena wanted to scream, to move, to do anything to get away, but her body wouldn't respond. The figure leaned closer, the weight of its words pressing down on her chest. "You can't escape me. I am always with you. I am in your dreams, and now I am in your reality." It whispered, its breath icy against her skin. Lena's vision blurred as tears welled in her eyes. The dream catcher above her bed swayed gently, casting shadows across the room. The figure straightened, looming taller, its form blending into the darkness of the room, vanishing as quickly as it had appeared. Lena lay there, frozen, unable to move for what felt like hours, her mind racing with terror. When she finally found the strength to move, she scrambled out of bed, yanked the dream catcher from the ceiling, and threw it across the room. But as it hit the wall, she realized with growing horror that it wasn't the dream catcher that had brought the nightmares. It was her own mind that had summoned the figure, and now that it was here, there was no escaping it. That night, Lena didn't sleep, and as the first light of dawn crept through her window, she knew one thing for certain: the figure would return. And next time, she might not wake up.